Cook?
Aaron, say present.
Oh, he stalled.
Yeah, he did so.
Yeah. He's frozen.
He thinks he's on, maybe. Crystal? Aaron,
Oh, there he is.
say present.
Oh, present.
Aaron?
I want to say here now, but present.
Doug, here. We do have a quorum. The agenda today has two items on it. Number one is consider resolution requesting reimbursement from the Iowa COVID-19 Government Relief Fund with possible action. Megan?
Okay, we had this on the agenda previously for a certain dollar amount, which was what ISAC had recommended. I was on a webinar yesterday, another webinar at about 3 p.m. yesterday, and the state said that you could do a resolution for just the amount up to what you were planning to request back. So just do the one resolution instead of each time. I did get some, when we spoke last time about this, I had questions out to the state in regards to how to complete the submission. And they did get back to me, so I need to make some changes to what I had previously had for numbers. Since it keeps going kind of back and forth, I'd like the board to consider just doing a blanket resolution. The maximum amount that we're eligible for is $652,486.32. With the 25% of public health and law enforcement wages, we'll certainly reach that amount, but what I'd like to propose is the board do a resolution for that full amount, and then when I do budget reports each time before we do a submission, that I would present what was submitted to the board so that you're aware of what has gone forward. So those documents that I included in the previous agenda packet for the previous amount, I would put those forth so that you could see what had been submitted, but would ask the board that they approve a resolution just for the blanket amount, now that the state said that we could do that since there's still so many questions out there. Instead of keep coming back to the board every time I have to make an adjustment, because it is due on September 15th. And I can read the full resolution again if the board would like.
Is it that whole page?
It is this whole page, yes.
I'm okay with it. I read it. It really is just ministerial in nature and cleaning up, making it easier for us to go forward without coming back with the changes. And so it's not changing the maximum amount from my perspective, and so I'm supportive of that. Let's make it easy.
I'm trying to look at the okay, there is a reimbursement amount of, yeah.
Yes. Yes, of that maximum amount that's allowable for our county, that we will put forth to attempt to recoup as much as we can. But again, I'll present to the board when we do submittals so that you have that listing of everything that has gone forward.
If there's no other concerns, I would move that Warren County request reimbursement of $652,486.32 in eligible expenditures in response to the COVID-19 public health emergency. That would be my motion.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. Tammy?
Schultz?
Aye.
DeCook?
Aye.
McIntyre?
Aye.
Motion carries. Agenda item 2 is discussion of Social Security tax deferral with possible action.
This is an item, this was a presidential memoranda that went out deferring just the Social Security portion of payroll tax for employees, but it's entirely optional. On Friday, we received a client alert from Allers and Cooney, our employment attorneys. They recommend against the county offering the deferral to employees. Kind of the problems could arise with it in that it's only a deferral. It doesn't get rid of the taxes. It simply defers it until January, and then it all has to be paid by April 30th. So you have to do double collections on employees come January to reach those numbers to submit it by April. Where the county could find some liability is if you have an employee leave and they have deferred, then you will be unable to, but the county will still owe those, and the county will be paying those taxes. So that's some of the problems that could arise with something like this, as well as just for the employee that not paying it now, they're gonna pay double, come the next year right after the holidays, and you're paying that double tax at that point. So those items as far as with payroll, if the board would just stay as they are with payroll and just continue to collect the Social Security, or if you would like to give employees the option to defer, but there is a potential for liability to the county if you do so. And the IRS is allowing, it's not employers can opt out.
Any thoughts?
Yeah, I'll go first. I read the email from Allers. I think that the issue is that the employer itself, us, are liable in the event that the employee doesn't pay it back from January 1 through April whatever. So if we deferred that FICA tax, which is by my math probably 7.5% their pay.
It's just the Social Security, so it's just the 6.2% that's for Social Security. It's not even all of FICA.
Okay, so 6.2. The rub is what if we do that and then December 29 some employee departs, which is possible, or finds something else, and then doesn't want to repay it back. I think we're the ones left sort of holding the bag on that. So I'm not probably in super favor of doing that for all employees. I don't mind giving people an option if that's what they want to do. Like if they could really use an extra 6.2% for the next couple months. That's sort of the middle ground approach. I'm not opposed to that. I think it's probably easier just to opt out. But I don't know. I mean, I guess the positive would be if we opted in and then Congress got together and said, okay, we're just going to waive that and call it stimulus or whatever, then I feel like that's the one saving grace of positive, potentially. But I don't have a whole lot of faith in our Congress. I'm not sure that they'll come together and say, okay, yeah, for 3 months we'll backfill that, or we'll forgive that, because it probably does have some implications for the Social Security Trust Fund, and it's going to be right after a pretty heated political election in November, and so my guess is I don't see a lot of potential for them to come together and say, let's backfill that or not worry about it. So if that's the case, then in a normal situation, the way I think it would happen is our employees are just going to have to pay it back. So they would have 6.2% more earnings for the balance of the year, and then between the first 4 months of next year, they'd have to pay it all back, so they'd have shorter paychecks. And it really doesn't move the needle much for me either way. So I'm fine listening to Allers and saying I'm okay with not doing it. I'm fine with giving our employees the option if that's what they really think will be helpful for them. I'm okay with that. I'm probably not fine with just saying, yeah, let's opt in 100%, because that's probably going to create some problems for us and them in the event that Congress doesn't act. So those are my thoughts. I'm kind of okay with the first or middle ground approach. I'm probably not okay with just opting in fully.
Aaron, it would not increase their earnings, 6.2, would just be their quote unquote cash flow. Yeah,
Yep.
it doesn't change their earnings. And I know you
No, but,
understand that, yeah.
but their paycheck's gonna increase 6.2% because 6.2% is not gonna go to the Social Security Trust Fund for
Correct.
3 months. So they're
Correct.
gonna be a little more cash heavy for 3 months, and then they're gonna have to pay it all back likely.
Correct.
Which is a problem if someone leaves or is unable to do it, because then we have to pay it back. So I don't know. I'm not really. I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to infuse more cash into the system, and I'm just not sure that Congress is actually going to act responsibly and address it at a later date. And so they're going to have to pay it back, and then it's a wash. So I don't know.
Crystal, you got any thoughts?
Yeah, I think I share those of Aaron's. I don't see the need for the contributions right now, so, or the withholding, so.
Well, and our attorneys at Allers recommended just declining it and continued collection of that 6.2%. So that's kind of the easy button in my mind, is we can just continue on with the status quo, and I'm fine with that, and I'll be supportive of that. I'm also supportive if you all want to offer to our employees and say, hey, if you can really use this, with the understanding that you're going to probably very likely pay it back next year, and so it'll be a wash. I'm fine doing that too. But I'm not fine just saying, okay, we're all going to elect in and do this, because I'm pretty comfortable that that's going to create a hardship for us that I'm not interested in.
County Attorney Doug Eichholz is here. Any comments?
I would suggest that you not do this, and not give an option, because I think you're gonna set up a catastrophe for trying to keep track of payroll and what they have to do, and later on have to try to figure out who owes what. And I agree with the way Megan laid out the guidance from Allers and Cooney, that if somebody leaves during this time where we're withholding, we're gonna be probably holding the bag for 6.2%. And no office, no department has budgeted for that this year. So, and it may only be a little bit, but it's still, I don't think it's worth what you might be entertaining. That's just my 2 cents.
Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to kind of assume that this is going to die for a lack of a motion. That makes sense?
Do we need
Yep.
one? I'm not gonna make it.
No.
Nope.
I don't think we need one then.
No.
And if we don't adopt it, then we can just continue with our current payroll status quo.
Yep.
Okay.
With that in mind, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
DeCook?
Wait, haven't made a motion.
Did someone make a motion to adjourn?
No, we haven't had one yet.
Oh, make a motion to go. I motion to adjourn.
See, I was being polite, Crystal.
You
I
were.
let you do it.
Everyone's going
Doug
to.
usually lets you do it, but that's why I just sat there. I'll second that motion.
Thank you.
Okay.
Tammy?
Okay. DeCook?
Aye.
Scholl?
Aye.
McIntyre?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.